Welcome, welcome to the Good News channel and the Revolution. I am your host, Queen Aline, and today I am hosting my beautiful sis, Queen Lou Del Mar. We're going to have a powerful talk. Powerful talk. There's so many things we're going to touch on. We're just going to take a quick moment to make sure that we are streaming live and we are sharing this in our group. So thank you so much for your patience. I'll do a little intro. Let me make sure I'm tagging you, Lou.
All right.
There we go, sharing it in the group. Also, this gives the time for everybody to jump on our live in the Revolution, in the Good News channel, because it's all the good news, and in our raw vegan and fruitarian healing group as well. We're tapped in. Me and Lou are doing some big work here, and we are collaborating in many different projects. We are doing some incredible things in raw vegan and fruitarian group.
Yay.
All right, I think it's shared in the Revolution Inner Circle. One more. There we go. All right, now that that is done, I can properly introduce you, my beautiful sis, Queen Lou Del Mar. What an honor to have you here with us tonight. Thank you so much for doing this and for having this deep conversation. We're going to be talking about healing your four bodies: physical, mental, emotional, and energetic. So let me give you a little intro about Lou and what she does, who she is. She is a well-rounded holistic healer. She holds certifications in as a clear beliefs method trauma-informed therapeutic coach. She's an alchemist, a herbalist, a regenerative detoxification coach, an energy healer, and meditator. She's inspired by her own profound healing journey, including a vibrant 70-pound weight loss. If you don't follow her, please follow her. She's so inspiring. You'll see how incredibly she's transformed herself. So, from this transformation, she now lovingly guides others towards their transformation. Through a blend of holistic practices and her own alchemically infused herbal formulas, Lou gently unlocks the body's innate capacity to heal, reprogram the mind, and clear emotions, leading to rebirth and spiritual awakening for thousands. And let me just attest to this. I'll just say real quick, like me and Lou I had the honor of meeting her a few years ago when she has helped me profoundly in many different ways to clear out so much of the junk and the trauma. So I am a testimony as well to her work. And we're going to dive a little bit deeper into, like what led you on this path? How did you even come into this lifestyle? So thank you. We'll start with that question, but if there's anything else you'd like to start off, go ahead. We're free flowing here.
I wanted to start out by saying thank you, Aline, for inviting me. I want to acknowledge the work that you're doing. It's so wonderful, inspiring so many people. And when I saw your first Good News podcast, I was like, I want to be there. I love it. I love it so much. So bringing positivity, inspiration to others is something that I also do, and I love, and that's part of my mission here on Earth, which is yes, heal myself because I've been through a lot. I'll share some of that with you guys. It's gonna get interesting. It's gonna get raw, authentic, and we were exchanging messages with Aline, and I said, I want to say everything as it is,
Yes.
the raw way.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to keep anything. If you ask me, I'll answer very honestly, very openly. And I think that's the way I go on with things in my life. Yeah. So thank you to your beautiful community that you have as well. And we have another group where we're participating, collaborating, the fruitarian and raw vegan healing group that is growing a lot. So we have so many different projects coming up, and it's exciting. And I love collaborating and uniting for the goal of helping people, being of service, bringing consciousness, life, love, awareness, especially around food as well. Why not? Because we've both been through our own healing journey with food, and that's some of the things that I want to share. Maybe I got off topic with the first question,
Absolutely
but
not. There's no off topic. It's all perfect. Yeah. I love that. I mean, I think what you're doing is so beautiful, so impactful. You've helped me to even look at things in a different way, to like certain because we know that the root of all issues, whether it's trauma, whether it's addictions to food, substances, or anything else, it's the trauma that underlies it all. So there's so much clearing out that we need to do. There's also a shift in attitude that is helpful too, like to see like, oh, this is happening for me instead of staying in that victim mode. And that's what I love about what you do is like you help us to transform that and step into our power to alchemize it, to change that darkness into light. And so, yeah, the Good News Channel really came, a lot of it was inspired by you and everything that you're doing in our world. You're very, very positive. You're so encouraging, so motivating. And I think there's definitely a need for more positivity in our world. Yeah.
yeah. So that's a very important topic, because before I started detoxing with raw foods and juicing and herbs and all of that, I was already on a healing journey, but I was 90 kilos, which is about 200 pounds, and I was in a toxic, violent relationship
Mm,
for many, many years, and I couldn't leave it. I was like, and that's the codependency. Um, and I was also stuck in a job that I thought was my ideal job. I was a manager for Latin America and an executive at a company that I can't name, but anyway, and I thought I had it, and I had a penthouse, and I was living this life that I thought, okay, then this is it, and I wasn't happy. I was
mm,
like, no, this is not the way things are supposed to be. I'm working like very long hours, 13, 14 hours. I'm miserable at my relationship. I gained so much weight from stress. I had anxiety, high levels of anxiety, depression. My body started getting sick, and I was doing the emotional work. I had already been certified as a coach, and I was already an alchemist as well. And I have been studying metaphysics for many, many years.
mm,
And for all my beautiful light beings and healers out there, if you haven't taken care of your body yet, I promise you it pays off because it
mm,
makes such a big difference. This vessel that we have carries, helps anchor this light in a whole different way. So I was already on my path. I knew that, things weren't working out. I was working on them. I was doing things about it. So I'm very proud of that. Even though there were a bunch of other things that weren't working, I was an alcoholic. I was doing, all these spiritual things, and I was just getting hammered over the weekend and completely wasted. And duality, right?
mm. Yeah.
Lack of coherence. But then I became sick. I lost a baby. I had an abortion. I had a fibroid, and I had cysts in my ovaries and a bunch of other different issues. I had two breast tumors, fatty liver, hypothyroidism, Hashimoto, autoimmune because of heavy metals. I also have had mercury fillings and root canals. And the list honestly is huge. It's like 70 symptoms. Eyesight, my hair was falling off. That was a mess.
Hmm.
So it took that event to happen in my life to be like, this cannot continue happening. So I'm very, very thankful because sometimes we think, like, how can this get any worse? I was at a very low point in my life. I was like, unhappy, doing a lot of alcohol, stuffing myself with food. That's something that I learned when I was a little girl, like to comfort myself. So when this happened, I was like, whoa, okay, this is it. Like, this is breaking point. Like can't get any worse. And that's when I made the decision. I made the promise to the soul that incarnated briefly. I promise you, things are gonna turn around. And they did. So um these are happy tears because if it wasn't for that event, I wouldn't be here. I might be dead or something else would have happened to me. I don't know what it is. But that just made me completely change my outlook on life and just to realize that I wasn't really taking care of myself before. I wasn't loving myself. And this was that moment, that breaking point. But throughout the years, other things were happening, and it was me not acknowledging the trauma that I had been through. I was just sweeping it under the rug. I was like, it's okay. And people would ask me like, how are you? I'm like, I'm fine. And inside I wasn't fine. I was just lying. I was pretending to be okay. So when I started detoxing and cleaning my body with fruits and veggies and herbs, I started realizing, I started seeing, I was like, how did I get my life get to this point? How did I ever normalize having to have coffee to function or having to drink so much alcohol to bring down my anxiety? Um, I normalized not having energy. I would completely switch off. That's called narcolepsy, meaning that my adrenals were so shot that I would just like completely, I could be talking to you and just like out. So many things like that were already signals from my body that I completely ignored. And when I was healing, it wasn't just that. A lot of other things started happening with my mind. My mind started changing. I started seeing the programs and the beliefs and the negative thoughts, the self-talk. I would have a very horrible conversations with myself. Things I wouldn't say to other people. And um, I would find anything that could help me not feel my emotions, be it alcohol, be it sex, food, overworking myself or keeping busy, anything but feeling emotions. And I realized like there's no escaping. When I'm doing this raw thing, no alcohol, no nothing, it's just like raw, authentic.
Yeah.
So it took my health and my life to a whole other level. And it wasn't just physical. It never is. And that's why I wanted to talk about today when you asked me about the four bodies, because it is really about the mindset and the emotions and the energy as well. Mhm.
Well, first, I want to say thank you so much for being so open, vulnerable, honest with us. I know it takes a lot of courage to share these things that you are sharing, and I just want you to know that I see you and I appreciate you,
Thank you.
not only for myself, but for everybody who is watching now live or on the replay, just know that you're not alone. If Lou is going
Mhm.
through this, if she went through this and you're going through this, like just opening up is such a powerful thing because it's like we can all hold space for you and then we also feel more connected as well. We also feel more connected in the struggle, and also what you do for people to understand where you came from and where you are now. It gives us hope. It gives us hope. Maybe somebody's in the dark right now. Maybe somebody's struggling with their weight or they're going through something similar to what you went through, and seeing you rise and seeing you surrender as well, surrendering to rise. Like we need to get on our knees sometimes. Like life, God brings us to these places of, I just like to say, like, just on your knees, just like completely desperate, we feel broken. We feel like everything is collapsing, but then it's like that's the beginning of your rebirth, of the phoenix, coming out of the ashes. We say this too a lot, it's like the phoenix rising out, but there needs to be some kind of death in order for that to happen. There needs to be some kind of but also what I hear what you're saying, and I also resonate a lot with that. It's like we don't know how sick we are until we start getting better. You know, it's like sometimes we're not even aware, we're not even realizing of these thought patterns, these negative thought patterns until we start meditating, until we start detoxing. You're like, oh, wait a minute, like this is what's going on in my mind. And I think a lot of people are on this autopilot, you know, from just repeated patterns, this repeated stories that we've inherited, you know, from our parents or ancestors, whatever it may be, and we're not even conscious of it. So it's like taking that awareness, taking inventory, starting to take inventory of what's going on inside. I love this saying, like, know thyself. You know, when you know yourself, then you could take those steps to healing yourself basically. But if you don't even know yourself, if you're not even able to have an honest conversation with yourself, then things are going to stay the same. So what I'm hearing is you started becoming aware of those patterns and you decided, you made a choice. It's a conscious choice. God is great and we always have free will. I think a lot of us are called on this path. A lot of us are feeling the spark, but not everybody's saying yes to the call. So you said yes to the call. You said yes to being the change. It takes a willingness, it takes an effort, you know, it's not just like that we lose, you know, 70 pounds. It takes effort, it takes discipline, it takes commitment and consistency as well. So I want to just give you all give you all the recognition for the work that you've
Thank you.
done and co-creation with, you know, with the Most High that was really able to launch you into a whole new purpose too. Like your career, everything has changed. Like you're not working that same job anymore. You found a
Oh,
passion for helping people. And this is what I share with people as well. It's like once you cleanse your body, me too. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for all the detoxing and the cleansing that I've done. It changed me and it shifted me to like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, here I am. I'm supposed to be helping people. And that's evolved into many different things. So when we cleanse ourselves, when we detox ourselves, our whole life starts to change for the better. And I really believe that we're all here in service to one another in some way, shape, or form. Maybe it's not going to always look exactly the same, but yeah, I love that. That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And yeah, it touched me so much. Like I love when we're able to go to those places because there's a lot of shame too, you know, around certain things that we may experience. And the deeper we go, the less shame we experience for ourselves, and then we're able to share it with others too, to help them out of their shame, to help them out of their you know, patterns of no, I shouldn't talk, I shouldn't say anything, I should just stay here. But then like people stay stuck in those loops as well. So I
yeah.
really, yeah.
Yeah, I was brought up with shame. That was the culture,
Hmm.
you know, the Catholic Latin culture of shaming to control. In feeling shame, it's actually one of the lowest vibrations
Hmm.
there is. And the highest vibration, that is the complete opposite, and the polarity of shame, you would think it's love. But no, there's something that vibrates higher than love. You want to know? Maybe you already know.
Please.
Authenticity.
Ooh, I love that.
Well, when we're authentic, and authentic can mean I'm a little mess. I still haven't fixed a few things.
Mhm.
I'm work in progress,
Yeah.
but I'm here
Yeah.
and I'm just real. That is so much. That's already a lot. So that's why whenever I feel shame, because I still feel it, it shows up sometimes, but I overcome a lot of shame. But when I feel a little shame, I'm like, I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm
Hmm.
just gonna talk about it. That thing that no one wants to talk about,
Mm.
or that thing that I'm afraid of being judged for, I'm gonna talk about that. And that's what I wanted to do today. Like, I'm completely open to talking about anything that you would ask me, and I will respond completely honest, because that's who I want to be. That's who I am, and I want to be very authentic. No bullshitting, no saying things just because I think someone else is gonna like if I say that. I'm like, no.
Mhm.
In me being authentic, sometimes it might be not saying like, no,
Yeah.
I don't want this.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Hmm.
Um, or just, disappearing from people's lives and presence. I only want to be where I'm appreciated, where I can be of service,
Yeah.
where um yeah, where there's reciprocity. I don't know if that's the word.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, where it's mutual, you know. When it's not like that, I'm like, bye.
And how refreshing is that, especially in our spiritual health community? Like, there's a lot
No
of BS
light.
out there. There's a lot of BS, a lot of like, just show, and people want to present their thing. And so they present themselves a certain way, And I mean, even I do it, but I try to sprinkle it with as much authenticity as I possibly can, so that people can, like, people want to get to know you, and they want to see you as a real human too. We don't want to just we're not here worshiping idols, you know what I mean? We're not here like that's not what we're about. We're about real life, real people, real struggles, and real successes. And that comes with ongoing challenges in life. It's not like, oh, I did a juice cleanse. When I first did my juice cleanse, I was a little delusional. I was like, following this certain person. I was like, oh, I'm gonna just do a 40-day juice cleanse and I'm gonna be all better. Like I'm gonna have no more problems. Like everything's gonna get better.
It's fixed.
Yeah, just fixed. I'm just fixed. And that was not the reality of what happened. I ended up having to do it many times again, and I'm still learning. I'm still growing. It's like nothing, like we're still human, even if we found God, even if we've been cleansing, like there's still things that happen in our life, but it's how we handle it that allows us to move forward with grace, with strength, with resilience. It's that self-love that I'm hearing from you.
Oh,
That
yeah.
self-love brings us to that authenticity. It's like I love myself so much. I don't even care what people think. I don't even care. They could go out there, and you know how many people don't like me out there? Like, I don't care. Go and don't like me. Like, I have a lot of great friends who love me, who adore me, who are loyal. Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? So, but that just had to come from that place of self-love to be able to be authentic and stand strong in who we are. And that builds up too with the work that you help us to do as well, is because those traumas keep us from maybe being authentic because maybe we were punished for it when we were younger, or again, like you said, we were shamed for it when we were younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's something I want to share, and I've been meaning to talk about this, and I know it's probably not on the topics that we were going to touch, but I think it's worth touching,
It's okay.
especially for the newcomers, for the people that just starting this journey. Um, when I came across this lifestyle, I found so many wonderful beings such as Aline and other people that I'm still friends with, people that I connected. And I was like, okay, I'm not alone. And I know I have my tribe, even though in my city or the town where I was at, no one was eating raw. And I was like, the weird one, right? And I was fine with that. But I did find this type of people that say, I'm not going to say any names, but they were so stuck up. Let's put it nicely. And they were like, oh no, people that do this and that, or people that eat cooked food, oh my God, that's horrible. That's like the devil. You're the worst person on earth. And I'm like, what is that type of mentality? How am I going to think I'm better
Mhm.
because of the way I eat or what I do? And other people are like below me.
Yeah.
Please, I'm asking you guys, if you're listening to this and you're running into this type of people, run away. You
Yeah.
don't have to put up with that.
Mhm.
And that's just really not healthy emotionally or mentally. Even if it's something that I needed to do at the beginning to be very strict so I could heal, I realized, and I'm going to share this. I haven't shared this also. So I'm giving you a lot of gems.
Let's
I
go.
almost died. I almost died about, I would say it was about maybe 3, 4 years ago. Yeah.
Whoa.
And I was in a ceremony, and it got very cold, and I had hypothermia. So that's I afterwards I realized that I had a hormonal imbalance. My dad died, and that caused a lot of issues again in my adrenals, and triggered the issue with my thyroid. Anyway, my hormonal system was out of whack. And anyway, thyroid is the one that regulates the temperature from the body. So when that happened, I thought, okay, I'm gonna die. I couldn't bring back my body temperature. I was struggling for hours, and I was like just about to die. And then the angel of death appeared and showed up, and came into the room, and I was like, oh my god, that the angel of death is gonna take someone.
Oh my
And I was worried. I was like, maybe I should go tell someone, like someone can do something about it. But
God.
then I realized he came to talk to me. I
Oh.
was like, um, no, I think you got the wrong person. You can go. It's okay. It's like, no, 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 I came for you. I'm like, no, I honestly, I have a lot of life to live still. So no, I don't want to go. It's like, no, but you're gonna listen. And I was like, at that point, my body was just like shutting down. I wasn't like feeling, I was just like almost like melting on the floor. And I saw the tunnel of light and codes, just information. And I felt like a lot of energy going through my body, like I was getting electrocuted, like that kind of like shaking. So it was an intense experience. And I got to the point where I was like, okay, I was just like kneeling down, going like, okay, just let me know. What is it?
Hmm.
What do you want from me? Like, what do I need to learn? It humbled me,
Hmm.
right? Having to go near death. And he or she, because it wasn't androgynous, it didn't have anyway, it told me it's like you became too strict with yourself.
Mhm.
You're hurting yourself.
Hmm.
I went to that extreme obviously for healing, but I didn't realize I was being so hard on myself. So being hard on yourself
Mhm.
and hurting yourself can look like overeating, overworking, not resting, drinking alcohol, drugs, whatever. But it can also look like hurting yourself, being too strict, pushing yourself beyond your body's capacity for
Mhm.
healing.
Yeah.
In that moment, I was like, I see it. I get it. I overdid it. I overdid it.
Mhm.
I literally pushed myself too hard.
Mhm.
And then I came out of that saying, like, okay, I'm not going to detox anymore. That's it.
Mhm.
Bye bye detox.
Mhm.
And then it was a process of months. And then I went back to eating cooked food. Even I ate eggs and I wasn't feeling great either. I was like, well, this doesn't feel good. My body's not loving it. Um, but then I had to balance it out, right? I was like, okay, not this, not that. And then that's when I started working with, and I created a new program out of this whole situation, which is conscious eating, which is meaning I had to learn because I didn't know this. I had no idea because I had this a dysfunctional relationship with food since I can remember, since I was little. So I had to learn how to have that relationship with food and how to, yes, be kind, but not be complacent, meaning that I would allow things that would also hurt my body. So it was finding like a balance between one or the other, or overeating or detoxing too much. And it was like, no, I'm just going to be kind. And for a year and a half, I did not choose or fast. And that was hard for me. I
Mhm.
was like, until I completely feel centered, I'm not going to go back.
Mhm.
And then slowly I started doing it again. And then I did dry fast, other juice fast. And then I got back into the swing of things. But it just took that balance in my life with food. And also that took me on another journey, which is healing the relationship with my mother. Because our relationship with food is our relationship with our mother. That's the first thing that we have had as food, mother's milk.
Yes.
So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, oh my God, my relationship with mom is not great. Well, then no shame, but just work on it. Do the best you can. Reach out to people for help as well. And I have, I've been through so many different processes, just not detoxing. I've also done, like you, Aline, a lot of plant medicine that has helped me tremendously. Also, other therapies, and that's how I came into coaching. And this last certification that I did, clearing beliefs, which I've cleared a lot of things as well. So this is not just about what you eat and the herbs that you take, and no, or working out, because I also work out. I'm a big workout fan. I try to work out every day. Almost every day I do it. But it's about here, what's happening here. If the balance is not here, then that's going to be represented in your body. I've had clients that have come to me saying, like, I've been doing everything. I've done the fruits and the veggies and the juices and the protocols, and I'm still not healing. And sometimes it only takes one session. And I know that we're not supposed to say that we cure things. So I'm not saying that I'm curing things, but someone had their healing for leukemia,
Mm.
which is cancer in the blood, with this reprogramming that I do. That goes to show how important it is to take care of this and this right here.
That's deep. That's deep. I remember too, I'm just gonna say this thought before I move on to I want to like touch on some of what you said, but I learned
Yeah.
in my regenerative health course, my teacher said exactly what you said. She said that she had been doing everything that she possibly could. She was doing the herbs and doing the fruit and doing the cleansing and all the things, and she was still struggling. She had Hashimoto as well. Interesting that you both shared the same symptoms, but she, at some point, somebody told her the same thing. Like, you probably just need to release and cry. And that's what happened. She ended up crying and crying and crying. And she had like this meltdown in the shower where she just like broke down in tears. And that's when it was her kidneys that weren't opening up. She was struggling to open up her kidneys and they weren't filtering, they weren't filtering. And that's why she was like, and then I'll always remember this story because to me the crying kind of came naturally, but I know some people are like really blocked with the crying, with the emotional stuff. So
It was one of
yeah. Yes, like crying is a huge release and it really helps to open up the pathways in the body. So 100%, like what you're saying is so true. And I've always remembered this. I don't hold back my tears anymore. It could happen
Mhm.
anywhere. I cry. And that also is a programming. It's also a trauma response not to cry, but crying is a really incredible way for our body to release those toxins. So yeah, that's really beautiful that you share that. It's interesting too that you had this experience, this like near death experience. Like that is just, let me come back to that for a second too, because like that is so like powerful what happened. And it's so interesting because you never told me this story, but I had a
No,
similar
I
story.
haven't talked about it.
No, that's wild. But something very similar happened to me in a ceremony too. It was Iboga, and I got the message. I had done raw vegan, very, very strict as well. When I met you, I was very, very strict. I
Yeah,
was
I know
jumping
you.
on my second juice cleanse, and I was just like, raw is law. And I was like a little bit like that because I was trained and I was working with somebody who I thought was 100% raw vegan, but they weren't. But anyway, that's a whole other story. But I was just like, you got to do this. And I was so strict. And coming from a background of eating disorders, anorexia, bulimia, like it was very easy for me to jump in line with this. And I think I just developed another problem. I just developed another obsession and and I had to as well. So in that journey, it told me just eat, just eat. And I was like, what? Just eat? I mean, I had been vegan for many, many years already at that point, but raw vegan for 3 years. And I was just like, and then I had at that retreat, I was actually trying to juice on that retreat and they all laughed at me. They were like, they knew what was going to happen because it's a very strong medicine that you need like a lot of roots and
Yeah,
anchoring and
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. So I'm there. I came with all my juices. I came with my juicer, my fruits, everything. And they looked at me like, okay, sure. Like we'll
Yeah,
help you
that's
make
how
your
I arrived
juices.
to the ceremony as well. I was like, I had been juicing and fruit and fasting and
Oh, but yeah, after that, it was like a weight was lifted off my shoulders, you know, it was just like a liberation. And they had made a beautiful soup. It was like a pumpkin sweet potato soup. And I just literally, I cried over this soup. Like when I tell you, I bawled my eyes out. I ate, it was warm. It was so soothing. And I was just like, crying over it, you know? And then from there too, the same thing. Like I had to figure out how to navigate this world of cooked foods because not all cooked foods are made the same, you know? Like we want to choose certain foods that suit our body, that feel good digestive wise, but the mind. So now I've been navigating this whole, you know, cooked foods, raw foods. I'm still mostly raw, but I do enjoy like a nice sweet potato. Like I'm all for that and my body feels good with it and it doesn't feel so like restrictive in my mind. Um, you know, I'll have the like vegan ice cream and even the piece of bread here and there, like all these things where I was just like so like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. You gotta like do this 100%. You gotta like be perfect, right? It's like that perfection, this ideal of perfection, that, you know, I didn't have the angel of death come visit me at that time, but he came to visit me for other things before that, where I was like faced with a choice, you know, when I was, you know, deep in substances and things like that, I definitely was like, presented with an option. Do you want to check out or do you want to stay? And like, what are you going to do in order to stay? So sometimes
Mhm.
the healthy thing is to find that balance. And like you said, nobody taught us. I mean, we grew up with the food pyramid, with all these lies in the society. Drink your milk, drink your and eat your animals, all these things, protein, 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 this brainwashing where we're like, what are we supposed to eat? And you know, some people say no herbs, you know, there's like very strict people, they're like, no herbs, just
Oh
fruit.
yeah, the natural hygiene. Like, whoa.
But God put those herbs here for like what are they just like looking pretty? Like they're there for us. So even finding what resonates with our heart. Even a lot of people say no plant medicine, no this, no that, don't eat fruit without seeds. Like I if I had waited for like I'm in Montreal right now, if I had waited to just eat seeded
For
organic fruit, like
perfection,
I would have
that's
never gotten better. So
exactly. Yeah.
find find what
Yeah.
works for you and what resonates with you. And the cleaner we get in our body, the more we can trust ourselves too, the more we can trust our intuition. Um,
And that is not parasites, but by the way, is full moon. So watch out, people, when if you're having any cravings, not the best time to have those cravings.
what happens during the full moon with the parasites? Tell us.
So right now, as we speak, these little critters are traveling through our intestines all the way to the anus so they can lay and hatch their eggs. And
Ooh.
we may get a little itchiness down there. So they want to make sure that their babies are gonna survive.
Mm,
And you know, moms, they'll do anything for their babies. And these parasite mamas, they're so clever.
they're so
They're
smart.
so good at hacking your nervous system and your emotions and your mind. And they can be like, there's just a slice. Have it. You know, and there's very specific foods that they love. They love fermented foods, they love the bread and the gluten and the cheese and processed things. Those are the things that are gonna ensure the survival for the parasites and their babies. So if we want to break that cycle, we want to make sure that every full moon, we're going like, no, this is not the time.
Mhm.
I want to be flexible another time. Yeah. So realizing what are your emotional like when you're having an emotional breakdown and you want to just eat for comfort, you can do it from time to time without going to an extreme or hurting your body, but it's better not to do it during a full moon because you're just going to have another layer of issues, because if they survive and then they hatch and then there's more of it, then it becomes a little harder. When you do a parasite cleanse, makes your life easier, cravings go away. So
Mhm.
I'm just saying it's full moon. So
Yeah.
yeah. Now you know.
Oh, thank you so much for that explanation. I don't think I even knew this. So I'm so grateful. And I felt the call to cleanse back. Like now that I've gone through a little bit of like that flexibility over the last few years, I feel like I'm in a better headspace to come back on all fruit, to get back on all juices, for like
Yeah.
periods of time to get back because I do feel like mucoid plaque starts to build up again, especially if we're like doing
Oh
certain
yeah.
combinations. I just can't even believe the amount of parasites that have come out of me. Even my last juice cleanse is actually when I saw the most. So I'm like, are they just like constantly just reproducing themselves? Like people think, oh, I did a parasite cleanse, like I'm done. I feel like this is the work of a lifetime.
Oh
Not to
yeah. It's
discourage
constant.
anybody.
Yeah.
So is this something that you recommend we do like every month? Like what kind of parasite cleanse would you recommend with herbs?
So I usually do parasite cleansing every few months,
Okay.
like every 3, 4 months or so. And then I do the full moon parasite cleansing, like just even 3 days at the minimum. So day prior to the full moon, and the day after. Or
Mhm.
sometimes I do 2 days before full moon and then 2 days after. So that's five. And that keeps me on track. And sometimes that can look like just taking herbs, not having any foods that are gonna feed the parasites.
Mhm.
Might be just having raw food, even gourmet food, but just keeping it like a proper combination. So I'm not getting things fermented inside me, so I don't get gassy. So I just look after it. And sometimes I may even have cooked food as well, which is like very like, something boiled or steamed, which is
Yeah.
what I had for lunch. And I usually just do one meal a day, and then I'm either the rest is just fruits and juices, and that keeps it simple. I don't have to be like struggling, or I don't want go into a water fast. I might eventually, but I want to keep it like something that I can, something manageable, something that I can easily do
Yeah.
every month. Yeah.
I think that sounds perfect for myself and for I'm sure everybody watching. It's about a lifestyle. It's like creating this lifestyle that is sustainable, that's
Yeah.
sustainable for the long term. It's like what can we incorporate without using necessarily those drastic measures that,
Yeah.
you know, I tend to go to. But I'm learning to ease more into, a flow of things where it's like, okay, how can I make this sustainable long term?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm going to share this pearl of wisdom from one of my teachers. So she's plant-based as well, but she used to be raw vegan, and she used to be breatharian.
Wow.
And when I came across that path, which is for another topic,
Yeah.
because I've been called to do that as well eventually. First,
Mhm.
I'm dealing with being here and getting my shit together, basically. And then I'll figure it out. But I'm on that path. I like that. I like the idea. Uh-huh. Anyway, so when I asked her, like, how did you do that? I was like, is she going to give me a formula on how to be a breatharian, and about eating raw foods as well? I was like, I just want like a sort of like tips that I thought that she was going to give me. And then she said something so simple. And I was like, oh, that's it? Which is, it has to feel natural.
Mm.
That's it. And when I heard that, I was like, oh. And I realized how many times was I lying to myself? How many times I was pretending that I was doing it because I liked it, but I was bulldozing myself. I was forcing myself into doing things, and it didn't feel natural. So, wherever you're at, it has to feel natural. If it's not feeling natural, you're probably trying to run before crawling.
Mm.
Yeah, that was like the best piece of advice that I've received. One of the best, actually.
I love that. And I think that's one of the reasons too so many people run really fast and then they go back big time. They backslide in a way where had they been, and I love Professor Spira for this as well, because he's always talking about the transition diet, always
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
the transition diet, like removing certain pus and mucus foods while continuing, to incorporate healthier greens and the broom salads and the cooked veggies and even cooked fruits. Like if we just jump from like eating meat and potatoes and French fries and junk food to like a fruitarian raw vegan diet, we may feel really, really terrible and crash so hard that we're going to just go right back to it. And we say, oh, this lifestyle doesn't work. I was feeling so sick. I was feeling so weak. Go easy into it. And like each week, maybe we could set some realistic goals where we eliminate certain one or two foods and then we incorporate others and then we move like in a more natural organic way, and I feel like I've done that very organically, naturally, even without any coaches, even just like reading my little Dr. Sabi books and, Dr. Robert Morris, he inspired me a lot too. Before I found all of you on this community, I was in Belize doing this and people thought I was crazy. They were like, what? What do you mean? Like, you're not eating meat no more. It caused me my separation from my engagement, from my fiance who loved making me steak. One day to the next, I was just like, I'm not going to eat meat no more. So I didn't have any support. I didn't know what I was doing. But I just knew that I had to stop eating animals. That was like the first thing I knew. So that's my first thing. But I was still eating cheese, eggs, but that felt natural to just,
Yeah.
stop eating that. But then like the progression of the raw food started coming in over time. It wasn't all of a sudden overnight that I did it. So I love that. And I definitely wrote that down. It has to feel natural. There may be
Yeah.
a little bit of, it's not to say that things won't feel uncomfortable, right? Because like jumping on a juice
Healing
cleanse, there's a
crisis
little bit of
or
resistance and there's gonna be, but your body will tell you when it's time. It'll tell you when it's time to cleanse. So yeah, I love that. It does.
I want to give an example.
Hmm.
So without mentioning any names in case you're watching these, because I thought about sharing these with my clients as well, but so they can get inspired. But anyway, this person came to me and she had been detoxing for about 2 years, and she was part of the Dr. Moore's group as well. And she was pushed to eating just fruit. And she thought, I'm doing this wrong. I don't know. Why is my body not reacting the same way? Because she had breast implants, which is another topic for another conversation, which
Yeah.
is like it's such a burden to the body having any type of fillers, um, breast implants, even dental implants, root canals, mercury fillings. All of that can trigger the nervous system of your body, increase the levels of toxicity. So she was facing this, and I actually specialize I work with women that had breast implant illness. So I knew what was happening, and I was like, this is too much. Your body cannot handle the level of toxins that are coming out, plus whatever is getting pulled by this much fruit. So, fruit is not the answer for everyone.
Hmm.
Yes, I'm saying that fruit is not the
Yeah.
answer for everyone.
Hmm.
Why? When someone is so toxic, it can do more harm than good.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that fruit is bad. I love fruit. It's like the best thing. And like sometimes I've cried eating fruit because it's that good.
Yeah.
And I love it. And that's my path as well. But it took me many years cleansing to be able to get there. And I'm not still fully there yet.
Mhm.
I'm not eating just fruit.
Yeah.
I'm like eating a lot of fruit, but I'm not there yet. But basically, just in a month, of making a few adjustments, adding a little bit more veggies, also steamed veggies and
Mm.
sweet potatoes. She finally found balance.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay,
Mm.
my healing crises are a little bit
Mhm.
down, more calmer. And that's
Mm.
it. Where is your balance out?
Yeah.
I'm not going to go and be what someone else is saying that should be that way because everyone should be eating fruit. Oh no,
No.
someone that is coming from high toxicity because of something that happened to their body, or someone that is coming from eating McDonald's, and you put them right on fruit,
Ooh. Yeah.
no,
No.
that can be too much for that person, for their physical body.
Hmm.
That's why it has to feel natural, yes, but then discernment from what feels good in my body. And yes, you're going to have a healing crisis. I had, oh my God, the amount of healing crisis that I had. I had acids coming out of my eyes, from my skin, 40 days of burned skin,
Wow.
and not even being able to sleep. I had to get into the shower. We were talking with Paula about this the other day. Like, we had a similar story there, and I was just burning from the inside out, and things were coming out, and there was no stopping it. I tried stopping it with cooked food, and not even that stopped it. It was just like kept coming out. So those things are going to happen, and it doesn't mean that what you're doing is not good for you. The way that we can find that level of coherence in our body is by clearing out the noise.
Mhm.
And that means, you're going to find so many people that are going to tell you no herbs, no herbs are great. Seeded fruits, not seeded fruits. No,
Yeah.
those are GMO. Only do organic. What feels right for you and for your body? Talk to your body like it's your best friend. Build that relationship, and you'll know. You can ask your body, like, is this good? Should we keep going? Are we, do you need a little break? That's the type of relationship we want to have with our body, and we all get to do that.
Yeah.
It's just that it's something that we have been so deceived. There are so many things that we can't see, that we've led to believe that we need someone with a white coat to come and tell us, this is how you should heal. This is what you need to do. That we get so disconnected from our own bodies. The medicine is right here. You know, Sometimes I say, yeah, I'm an energy healer, but I'm not going to heal anyone. People heal themselves.
Mhm.
I'm just facilitating. I'm just there supporting their journey. We have the medicine. The medicine is right here in our bodies, in our cells, and we just need to activate it. And that's it.
I love that. It's like a switch that you just turn on. It's an activation. And the deeper we go, like you said, the more we get activated, the more we elevate ourselves by making those small changes. They really do lead to quantum leaps. And I think it's really important that we talk about this even in this fruitarian raw vegan community, the revolution, like I always share that it's important to respect the transition, even with clients and things like that. Like, don't run too fast. It's okay to do periods of cleansing and things like that. But I didn't start extended juice cleansing until 7 years. I was already plant-based. It was about
Wow.
7 years. I think I had done like maybe week long juice cleanses. I
Mm-hmm.
think I had done 10
Mm-hmm.
days. But when I did 100 days, I was already 6 or 7 years
Yeah.
plant-based. So I had already cleared out a lot of the gunk that was in me. But it was still, I almost did it to prove that I was so clean. I almost did it. I remember thinking this, like, no, I don't have mucoid plaque. Let me just, like, I've been vegan for all these years. Like, there's no way I have mucoid plaque. And I kid you not, for 90 days straight, it was coming out. Maybe like some days not, but for 90 days, it was like, where is this coming from? Um, but yeah, I don't know if I would have been ready for that before then without the right
Yeah.
support and coaching. So,
There are
what
some
you do is
people that,
hold, yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, what you do is hold space for people to feel confident in doing what they have to do. So that's a real gift. Mhm.
Yeah. And it's good that you took that time to prepare yourself.
Mhm.
And it's okay. We also see other people, they're like jumping straight into the watermelon, fruit up.
Yeah.
It worked for that person. Great, amazing.
Mhm.
But sometimes we see that and we're like, oh, I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna follow what this guy's doing. Like, he did great and that's amazing, but is it actually working for you? If it
Mhm.
is, then good. But sometimes we see other people doing these things and it can be inspiring and wonderful. And yeah, I'm very happy about that. But make sure that you're always checking in with your body. Does it feel good or not? And some people are actually, I've had very few cases, but I've had that. People that already have plant-based, they eat very clean, and then they want to jump into this lifestyle, and they're like, boom, running, and they're like, I just want to be on fruit.
Yeah.
I'm like, and it's fine. And their body can handle it because they're strong. They were already pretty clean, and it's okay. So it's not one size fits all. And I'm not saying that fruit is bad for you. It's just like, are you ready for fruit? Because sometimes we think, oh, it's just fruit.
Hmm.
Oh no, it's like fruit is queen. Is like next level. It's like really like get ready if you're jumping into fruit, get ready to be opened up here, like
Hmm.
I'm talking about like psychic abilities type of level.
Yeah.
And also the sensitivity. We become so sensitive, like just to energies and the environment. And sometimes when people are living in cities or doing like that, it can be
Yeah.
challenging. So don't compare yourself that someone's out there in the jungle, living in nature, eating their fruit. And obviously that's going to be a lot easier, but that's the lifestyle they chose. So yeah, and if you're uncertain, reach out to Aline. She has a challenge that's coming up, right? And or reach out to me. I also provide coaching services. So just reach out to other people that have gone through this, that they know, and that you can that you know that they have your best interest at heart. And that's so important when choosing a coach as well. Just make sure that you're resonating at a heart level, not just someone that is shining bright.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Sometimes we look at these heroes and we're like, oh my God, they're so amazing. And then you don't know what's happening behind the scenes, what people are really doing. It has to resonate here in your heart when you're choosing someone to support you.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
beautiful. Someone that's grounded too, that's down to earth, that's real
Yeah.
and anchored in to their own emotional intelligence. I want to say this, that you have a lot of emotional intelligence. And I think the danger out there, and I have experienced this with my own coaches, and I know exactly who you're talking about. We're not going to be naming names, but a lot of people in this community that I really looked up to, that were my mentors, coaches, even colleagues have left me very traumatized. Have left me very, very traumatized, very wounded, very much questioning myself because they were not doing that deep inner work that what we're talking about, what you're talking about, ego,
Mhm.
uh, trauma healing, facing ourselves, facing our own demons. And it could be very
Our own
dangerous in the,
darkness.
sorry?
Our own darkness. We all have
Yes.
it.
Yes. We gotta have faced our own darkness in order to really, and it's not to say like we don't have things to work on, but how can we hold space for somebody in a really authentic, mature, and way that's aligned with them if we're not tapped into our own deeper self? So I
Yeah.
think that your presence in this community is very much needed. I think what we're bringing to our communities as well. We have a private community coming up, so stay tuned for that. We're very excited to be announcing that very soon. Lou and I are collaborating with another group of amazing individuals. Queen Paula is bringing us all together so that we could offer even more to our community. So I don't want to say too much. I'm just planting some seeds, and we're really excited to be sharing this
Yes.
with everybody because um, it's time for that divine feminine energy to rise. Not to say like we don't have men in our team, we have amazing men that are also
Queens and
very
kings. Yeah. Just beautiful human beings.
yeah, beautiful human beings that are in the energy of compassion, love, authenticity, and being so here in devotion to others. So yeah, I love you so much. Please let us know how can somebody get in touch with you if they are looking to connect. I know you offer Spanish as well if anybody's
Yeah.
interested in some Spanish. You have like these detox, these packages that you offer. So let us a little bit know about what it is
Yeah.
that you offer.
So before I mention that, I just want to say one last thing, and this is
Yeah.
one last thought. This is for everyone, including us, the coaches. Sometimes we can feel like, who am I to be helping others if I still haven't healed completely? And I want to say that even if you're a coach or if you are just a human being that wanting to inspire your family or your friends, you can help others. You can inspire them by being authentic
Yes.
because your healing process is the knowledge that you have collected. So I imagine this as a human chain where I'm here and I know there are others that are higher up. For sure, there are people that are more knowledgeable, that are more advanced. And you know what? They're the ones that have extended that hand and helped me up,
Mhm.
level up. But then at the same time, just because I'm here and they're up there, it doesn't mean that there are other people, other brothers and sisters that I'm going to be able to help. So I'm going to extend my hand. And I know the path because I've already walked it. I might not be all the way there, but I've walked that path and I'm going to be able to help them level up as well, with the knowledge they already have. So that's all. When I pretend to be something else that I'm not, or like to be higher up here, I'm
Mhm.
not serving. I'm not being my true, honest self. So I just want to serve from that place, from things that I have embodied, things that are already here
Mhm.
that no one can take away. And that's where my service and my heart and my love is, not trying to be all the way up there.
Yeah.
No, just where I am. That's simple. That's honest. All right.
A lot of
So,
a lot of humility. I'm hearing like a lot of just be humble, like you are
yeah,
very humble. Yes. Hmm.
yeah, humility. Exactly. I love that. I always, when I forget, because I do forget as well, I always come back to humility. I'm like, no, I get centered in my humility.
Hmm.
All right. So, things that I can help you with. I do individual detox. I specialize in different types of the C word. So I don't want to mention, you know what I'm talking about, the
Oh
C
yeah.
word. Okay. So I have a lot of patients like that. And it's been wonderful. It's complex, but it's very rewarding. And I find that people get a lot of pressure from the white coats, to go do chemo or go do, other things or surgeries. And yes, it's necessary sometimes
Hmm.
to get the surgeries, but chemo and other things are not that great for the body. So dealing with that, with the whole mindset, the pressure, the fear of having that type of diagnosis. Then I also work with autoimmune disease that are related mostly to heavy metals, implants, and gut issues. I also work with women health. Hormonal disbalances, fibroids, endometriosis, yeah, anything related to the female reproductive system. I also work with breast implant, and I also work with conscious eating. With conscious eating is not detox per se, but it's more about healing that relationship with food. And I also do, I have clients that are not detoxing with me, but they're only doing the emotional and mindset work with me. So reprogramming and clearing beliefs, anything that is stopping you today, and you're like, oh, I've tried so many ways and nothing seems to work, and I just feel like I'm stuck. Even if it's that in a relationship, if it's in your healing journey, if it's a particular disease, if it's your finances or abundance, if you're unsure about your calling in life, like what am I supposed to do with my life? All of that can be cleared. When we go to the subconscious mind, we identified, okay, there's that little thing, which is a big thing in reality, holding me back. And once we unlock that belief gets clear, that core belief, then suddenly everything starts opening up and you receive all the tools that you need. Things start flowing to you. And yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. We are supposed to be, uh, by nature, by divine right. We're supposed to feel loved, cared for, respected, worthy. And when something is not quite there yet, then there's something subconsciously that is stopping you. It can be a program that your mom or your dad put into your brain, and not because they were trying to hurt you or anything. It's just because they were also programmed that way, and we're just dragging that. It can be ancestral work. I also do a lot of that ancestry work, things that are inherited, and we just don't know where that came from, but I'm stuck in a certain situation. There's answers right there. So these type of work, it's called clear beliefs coaching, and it's very powerful. 1 hour and a half or 2 hours, that's how much it lasts for, can be like perhaps years of therapy.
Ooh.
Boom, unlocked like that. Yeah.
I feel that we did a session, what was it, about a
Yeah.
month and a half ago or something, maybe 2 months ago, and I literally feel my whole life has changed. And I had done a lot of work before, but after our session together, I feel like something really did got unlocked. And I mean that. I was like, what just happened? I had a
Yeah.
powerful session and I reconnected with my inner child. We had a really beautiful session. So now me and her, it was like there was like a fragmented part of myself that was her, and
Mhm.
I wasn't even, I mean, I knew about inner child, but I wasn't really paying much attention to her. Now I'm like in love with her. I'm like taking her everywhere. I talk to her.
Oh,
I have like a whole new, I bought her a little pink phone. You see it back there. Like I'm just
yeah.
taking such good care of her in a whole new way that I even knew was possible. Like you made it real for me to have a relationship with her. And I know every session is different. I'm just sharing a little bit about mine. It was
Yes.
what I needed, so maybe somebody else may need something else, but it was a really, really incredible transformation for me that I feel helped me step into so many more opportunities, and doors started opening up, more abundance started coming in. Like literally, I think that's when I started my new business, was about a month and a half ago, or it was just after we had our session, maybe a week or two after, boom, this came into my lap, started,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like started the whole snowball effect started from there. But yeah, it was really, really incredible. So I want to attest to that. If anybody's interested in learning more, please reach
Yeah.
out to Lou.
Yeah.
And I think that work will naturally help people to let go of those addictions too. Maybe those people that you're helping don't even know, that it's about food, but it's just naturally going to be that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we all have like a certain type of food. For me, it was bread. Like now it's under control. I'm like, I'm good. But yeah, it can be bread, coffee, or milk, or eggs, or whatever, or something. And I can assure you, if there's one particular thing, there's a meaning behind that. And just like that, you can unlock it.
Mhm.
Why suffer unnecessarily? Yeah.
What,
So thank you so much, Aline, for
thank
having me.
you.
It has been deep as I expected. And I was like, I really want to go deep. I'm open. I'm ready. And I hope it resonated with you guys that are listening to these. And we just want to inspire you to be raw, but also authentic, and to pay attention, not just to your physical body, but also to your mind and to your body and to energy. I haven't talked too much about energy, but that's a whole other topic as well because I'm an alchemist. So that's for another
Let's do
another
another one. Yeah, we should
conversation.
totally do another one. I would love to go deeper into that. Yeah, definitely. We would. This was just a little introduction for everybody to get a little sneak peek about, who you are and what you do and what we're about to bring to the world in big, big ways. So I am so grateful and deep reverence to you and deep reverence to your journey, to your courage to share as well. I am so grateful for you, and truly this is so empowering to me as well, because I'm learning from you. You're my mentor, you're my friend, and like
Thank
you're
you.
just so amazing to me. I really resonate a lot with you as a woman and the way you are helping people as well. I look up to you in a very grounded way, it's not like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's very real. It's very real. And then we got the chance to meet as well in person. So that's a whole other thing when you get to meet somebody in their energy. It's really incredible. So I can't wait to see you again very soon. Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody who joined us either on the live or in the future, maybe from 5 years from now and
Yeah.
2030,
And I forgot to
2050.
mention something. I also coach in Spanish.
Hmm.
Yeah, because sometimes people reach out to me and like, I have my mom and my someone that only speaks Spanish. Can you help them out? I'm like, yes, of course.
Yeah.
So just yeah, I would say that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
My
Mwah.
Spanish is not so good. But until next time, thank you so
Yeah.
much. I love you, and we will do this again very
Love
soon.
you. Bye
Bye.
bye.